May the 5th, 1973.
The player ran 50 yards and scored down the wing.
It was basically just a great kick, a half volley.
And he chipped it over the keeper. That's my favourite moment.
Pure genius. Greatest moment ever.
William Hill, proud supporters of the FA Cup on ITV.
And a warm welcome again to the big match.
Well, wait a moment, it's there, there's Sunderland! History, hysteria! George Eves! Where's he going? Bob Circle! Lampard! There is a new name on the old trophy, and that is Wigan Athletic.
Evening. The first weekend of the year always means the third round of the FA Cup. The weather sadly put paid to 3 games today, but the 23 that went ahead have served up a smorgasbord of stories and some sensational goals. We'll see them all in the company of 2 men who have seen it all, and as you can see, have the cardigans to prove it. Gordon Strachan and Martin Allen. We start at Villa Park. Paul Lambert had his say on the FA Cup this week, as you may have heard. Would League One Sheffield United have the last word? Here's Martin Fisher.
51 places between these two sides, and not an awful lot to get excited about so far as both sides weigh each other up. Murphy taking on Lowton. Support arriving in the box. Murphy shot and he's got in! Took a deflection off Kieran Clark, I think. And the 5,500 Sheffield United fans in the other corner of the ground go wild with delight. Watch for the deflection here. There's the touch of Clark. Steer given no chance at all. Vyman. Here's Albrighton. Benteke! Well, he got up well enough, but the finish left a lot to be desired. Sheffield United just trying to see themselves through to half-time. Last few seconds of added time. Benteke again! A little bit closer, but his goal drought continues. Hasn't scored since the middle of September. The man that scored 23 times last season. Given away cheaply by Villa. And this is Flynn. Full of confidence, Sheffield United. Nigel Clough will be thrilled by their performance. Tonev tussling. Through ball from Westwood. Now Brighton. Even deeper this time, and the goalkeeper struggling for a moment. George Long in the end did just enough. Well, Brighton almost catching him out. Helenius for Benteke. Took too long. Sheffield United felt he was offside. He wasn't. Well, appeals for a push. Benteke goes down. Referee David Coote disinterested. Vyman. Helenius! They've got their equaliser. An improved second-half display, and Villa are level. Helenius, the £1.2 million signing from Aalborg in the summer, with his first goal for Villa, and what a crucial one it might be. And Flynn. So close to finding Porter at the back post. Lambert thought his team were moving on towards getting the winning second goal, but Sheffield United have still got some life in them yet. McMahon. Flynn. Just about got away from Fabian Delph. Ryan Flynn! United back in front, and it's Ryan Flynn. Once upon a time, he scored the winner in an FA Youth Cup final for Liverpool against Manchester City. Deep from Clark, on by Benteke, Vyman! Well over, time not on Lambert's side anymore. Deep, deep into added time. Villa heading out. Benteke's touch. Benteke! Just about sums up Aston Villa's performance today. A half chance that has gone begging. And surely that is that from Villa Park. Sheffield United, seconds away, and there's the whistle. Their first win at Villa Park since 1966. Villa are out.
The fact we deserved it, you know, you can go away from home in the cup or at home and you can fluke a result. You can fluke a 1-0, even a 2-1, and you know, spend your time defending. But that wasn't like that today. It was a thoroughly deserved victory.
It's a competition I wanted to do well in. Never demeaned it one bit. I respect the competition and the history it's got. But the journalist knew that he was wrong with it and what Mansell was. And that's when people have jumped on it without really knowing the whole facts of everything that I actually said. And but as I said before, I respect the competition, but I don't in any way demean to not get through the cup, because I wanted to try and get through and give Aston Villa fans a run. If you look at the history of the teams I've managed, I've always done pretty decent in cups.
Clearly, not the easiest few days, according for Paul Lambert. Did he bring some of this on himself, or is he just?
Well, it's a lesson to most managers. You have to be careful every time you open your mouth. And you have to be careful who you're speaking in front of, because I think that how many journalists were in that room, and one twists it and puts his own spin on it, and Paul has to deal with it for the next three or 4 days, and he has to deal with it right after the game. It's bad enough getting beat, but having to deal with the questions about what he did or didn't say. I think if he actually read what he says, he did show that he's got to show respect. There was only 3 changes for the team that beat Sunderland last week, but he has to deal with this defeat and the media comments. It's not a great night for Paul.
And of course, we want in the media, Martin, openness and candour and honesty from all managers, all players when we speak to them and they speak to us.
Well, I think if you're absolutely honest, all managers would say their priority would be, number one, to stay in the Premier League, for some of the clubs to try and get into the Champions League, and for some of the clubs to try and win the league. And for Aston Villa, at this moment in time, for Paul Lambert, is to keep them in the Premier League. He's cut the wage bill, he's brought through a lot of players from the academy, and it's a tough time. And with his centre-forward and main striker, Benteke, missing 3 good chances today, it puts the pressure on him. And for those comments, you know, they're doubled and trebled and the pressure's on him.
Of course, comments are one thing. Getting beat by a team from League One in the FA Cup is the black and white of the matter, isn't it?
It's hard to take.
Yeah.
It really is hard to take, because whatever we say, once we're in that competition, it's a great competition. It's a fantastic competition. And I always felt, no matter what was happening with my club side, I felt that was one day it was different from the Premier League, where you're going for that 3 points, and the build-up and the depression you go into when you get beat, you know, getting those 3 points in the Premier League. I thought it was a completely different week, which I enjoyed, no matter where my club was, because you can go on and make a real name for yourself and the club.
Which, of course, is the other end of today's story at Villa Park. Is all about Sheffield United and their 5,500 fans, and Nigel Clough and Ryan Flynn and all that they've done today.
You've got to give them a lot of credit. They've had a really tough season, and Nigel's done a really good job there, picking up points recently, just climbing out that relegation zone and just moving along nicely. And it's nice to see Nigel. He's a nice, calm operator. A lot of similarities, I think, to his dad there, the way he was talking, and facially just looking very calm. Nigel, his dad obviously not having a great run in the FA Cup and never winning it. So, yeah, great time for all the clubs, and that is the magic of the FA Cup.
Sheffield United through to round 4. The distraction for this year in the FA Cup is over for Aston Villa. After the break, we're off to Scotland. Leeds, the visitors to Rochdale, not, as it turned out, for the Best Dressed Manager award, but for a third-round cup tie, and we're there in just a couple of minutes.
player ran 50 yards and scored down the wing. It was a fantastic experience, and I think that's the magic of the Cup, really.
William Hill, proud supporters of the FA Cup on ITV.
How can a car's design make driving feel like this? Start by making it lighter. Reduce the size of the wheel. Raise the instruments to help keep your eyes on the road. And declutter to make the surface of the road feel as close as possible to the hair on your skin. Voila. New Peugeot 308. Driving sensations.
The official Star Wars fact file. Examine the weapons and technology. Don't make me destroy you. Discover the humans and aliens. Week by week, build the most complete Star Wars guide ever made. The official Star Wars fact file. Issue 1 out now for just 50p.
They were born different. Born with very special gifts and extraordinary talents. Born to change the lives of millions.
Bedtime, 5 more minutes, Nana.
Bedtime. Destiny brought them together. Time to fly.
Hello, Mr. Jacobs.
Now they're flying to save us all. Saving us from the bland, the beige, and the common can't be bothered. They are a welcome splash of red in a weary world of grey, flying in the face of ordinary.
Right! Wakey, boy! Here comes the big one, son! You gotta take it! Are you looking at me? Come on, stay on your toes. Stick one on each. Nicely done. Stay focused, boy. Spit. Coral, stick one on it.
Discover the power of touchscreen and the precision of dual analog control. Immerse yourself in adventures from every angle. Interact with your world using the rear touchpad, or explore over 300 more. And always stay connected. Continue playing PS4 games with Remote Play, only on PlayStation Vita.
Get up to 25% off a range of phones and plans in the Vodafone Winter Sale. Visit us in-store, online, or on mobile. The Winter Sale from Vodafone. Power to you.
I was born a free man till the day I was sold into slavery.
There is no justice in this slavery. If you want to survive, do and say as little as possible.
Well, I don't want to survive. I want to live. I was a free man. I'm not a slave.
12 Years a Slave, in cinemas January 10th.
Sometimes one has to make a deal with the devil.
No gun? You don't need one.
We have a lot of unfinished business.
I'm from the murder capital where they murder for capital.
US hit drama Hell on Wheels starts Wednesday the 15th of January on ITV4.
Have your cup of tea and you discuss the team that might be on, you discuss who they might play. Will it go to extra time? Will there be penalties?
William Hill, proud supporters of the FA Cup on ITV.
Now, Leeds United were giant killers in the Cup last season, knocking out Spurs. Today, the Championship side made the 35-mile trip to League Two Rochdale, hoping to enjoy the trip back home. At Spotland for us, John Champion.
Henderson with the kick. Bunny. Henderson once more. Leeds living dangerously. Pugh's kick. Smith got up.
And it's guided up and beyond his own crossbar. Hard-working Matthew Lund saving the day. Vincenti and Hogan into space. Scott Hogan for Rochdale. And Henderson, and Peltier was in the way. Henderson. Bunny. Vincenti, back to Henderson. Good play from Rochdale. That's what they're capable of. They play neat, passing, progressive football. Vincenti and Hogan! Rochdale's top scorer, Scott Hogan, gives them a half-time lead. Lovely cross by Peter Vincenti, and the perfect finishing touch from the forehead of a player who tried to make it as a pro with Rochdale first time round, failed, drifted into non-league, has been brought back, and that's his 12th of the season. And Smith. Joe Bunny on the line. Big Matt Smith. And his header was goal-bound. Murphy. Matt Smith. And Byron was setting himself. It's McCormack! A feather away from 1-1. Doan. Henderson. Vincenti! Had that gone in, Leeds might well have been down and out. Here's Cummins. Vincenti. Hogan! And Leeds are living precariously here. Hogan. Vincenti! It's a fine save by Paddy Kenny. Lund. Cummins. Henderson! Time stood still. And Ian Henderson has surely won this tie for Rochdale. And it's turning into a special day for a club often the butt of lazy jokes down the years. Cummins cross. Henderson waited, placed it, and scored that also important second goal. Doan. Henderson tries his luck again, and his luck was very nearly in. Rochdale have had some horrible FA Cup experiences against Forest Green and FC United, but today it's the other side of the cup coin for Rochdale. One of their finest hours. Rochdale take the plaudits as they go into round 4 for only the 4th time in their history. Rochdale 2, Leeds United 0. Keith, you were a picture of calmness in front of our cameras throughout, but how do you feel now?
Proud of the players. They executed the game plan. Individual performances were probably above League 2 standard. They wanted to prove that they're capable of matching that type of opposition, individually and collectively, and I think they did. I thought the plan worked to perfection.
Ryan, is this your lowest point at Leeds?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my lowest points in football. I mean, I'm just going to the crowd at the end and the reaction we got, which I expected. You know, sometimes you have to hold your hands up, and that was up there with losing a playoff final. That was worse, actually.
I always watched the FA Cup as a kid and everything, and as I said, it was my first time in the first round, let alone the third round. So, you know, to do that in front of a good set of fans, and our own fans more importantly, yeah, it was really good. And I enjoyed it. You scored a goal, brilliant.
That story, the individual and collective story, that almost encapsulates the Cup, doesn't it? The lower league team, the plan coming together, the individuals who produce moments of great skill on the day to beat the mighty Leeds United.
Well, that goal, the chip, it was exquisite to the far post, and now he's pulled out there, just waiting for the ball to drop. Side foot, taking a few steps back and curling it into the top corner. I mean, we spoke earlier about the magic of the FA Cup. To beat Leeds, 35 miles apparently apart from both clubs, magnificent effort. And Brian, you can see how upset he is there with the effort or the ability, perhaps, of his players on the day to
it was
fall
more
short.
like it, wasn't it? It was more like a cup tie interviews after the game. Rather talking about me, a real disappointment and really hurting by getting beat, and real enthusiasm in the dressing room we seen after the game. Really enjoy it, and young Scott Hogan think this was the greatest day of his life.
Yeah.
You know, this is more like the FA Cup rather than talking about media.
The lad that scored, he's eligible for Scotland, you know.
Well, the second goal is, Ian Henderson. Scott Hogan, as we were hearing in commentary.
That's a great cross, great header. There are a lot of good things. The guy calmed down here, picked his man out.
Cummins with the cross, yeah.
And this is just fantastic. He could have done a couple of things, thrashed at the ball, could have went anywhere, brought it down. He just places that. But where's he been for the last couple of years?
Well, he played for England at under-18 and under-20 level, but I read that he is eligible for Scotland. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll leave that one with you.
That looks good, you know.
You've got to follow that
Where's
one
he
up.
been for the last... It doesn't matter. We've only got friendlies now. Where was it when the real crunch games were on the last couple of years?
Was going on. Yeah. No, absolutely. But it obviously, Brian McDermott feels it was hurt worse than a playoff final defeat. So that tells you something.
Yeah, they've had a lot of fans there, but Keith Hill has put together a very good team at Rochdale. I think he was a little bit unlucky at Barnsley. He didn't quite go well for him, but he's returned back to Rochdale. They're up close to the top of the division, and I think they'll go very, very close. And I don't think anybody will want to get them in the draw tomorrow at Rochdale, because that is a tough place to go and play.
Well played to Rochdale. 3 more games with Championship sides at risk now, starting with managerless Millwall at Southend.
Roots Hall was the setting for one of those FA Cup occasions when it's best to expect the unexpected. Millwall play their football 2 leagues above Southend, but they're currently without a manager and struggled from the moment Barry Corr scored his 10th goal in his last 12 FA Cup ties. Minutes later, a partial failure of the floodlights prompted an inventive response from some of the fans. Makeshift illumination. But the real lights were restored after a 15-minute delay, and Millwall's problems quickly increased. They had Jermaine Easter shown a straight red card after he tangled with Ben Coker. And in time added on for the failure of the lights, Will Atkinson doubled Southend's lead as he raced onto Michael Timlin's through ball and chipped the ball over goalkeeper David Ford. Millwall were Cup finalists back in 2004 and reached the semi-finals last season, but this was turning into an embarrassing way to bow out. Timlin added a third for a Southend side who've been finding some form under Phil Brown. Just 1 defeat in 10 League 2 matches, and now a place in the 4th round of the Cup, which wasn't really threatened by substitute Martin Wolford's goal, which reduced the lead to 3-1. Southend had the final say in second-half stoppage time, with a 4th goal from Ryan Leonard, and they're into the 4th round for the first time since 2008.
It had everything today, didn't it? I mean, the weather conditions, the game could have been cancelled and the floodlights go out, you name it. It had it, but it was a great win for us. You know, it was a great win because it shows you how far we've come.
The FA Cup has been a welcome distraction for Stevenage this season, who haven't won in the league since October. But thanks to a little luck and the composure of Francois Zoko, the 26 places between these two sides just evaporated. Stevenage are currently bottom of League One, but they reached the 5th round of the competition 2 years ago, and another impressive run became a distinct possibility when Peter Hartley made it 2. Championship Doncaster haven't been in great league form themselves of late, but Harry Forrester offered some hope, if not expectation, when he pulled a goal back on 72 minutes with an absolutely stunning effort. But the visitors simply weathered the storm and responded with an injury time effort from Darius Charles to seal their place in the 4th round draw. There was still time, though, for Doncaster to flicker back into life. Liam Wakefield was to reduce the arrears again, but it was too little too late, and the romance of the competition is alive and kicking down Hertfordshire way.
the FA Cup.
And responded with an injury-time effort from Darius Charles to seal their place in the fourth-round draw. There was still time, though, for Doncaster to flicker back into life. Liam Wakefield was to reduce the arrears again, but it was too little too late, and the romance of the competition is alive and kicking down Hertfordshire way, when Jim O'Brien put them in front on 19 minutes. But the Yorkshire side, who are currently bottom of the Championship, have leaked 42 league goals this season, and their defensive vulnerability was exposed by Belgian midfielder Frank Musa, who equalised with aplomb. Then, in the best cup tradition, the League One side waited until the last minute to score their winner. Leon Clark's 18th goal of the season, enough to secure the upset, a place in round 4, and bedlam among the travelling faithful.
It's a great win for your old club, who've, again, had kind of troubled times, all the hassle over the stadium, not playing at the Ricoh of late. So a lovely distraction, as you said earlier. Sometimes the cup comes at the right time.
And my grandson goes and sees them now. He's other granddad. So I'm glad to see that they're going along and seeing some good football being played by Stephen. Stephen Presley's side, he's done well. He worked with a lot of kids at Falkirk and brought them in great, and he's doing the same thing there. So I'll be delighted for them. If they could just sort this ground thing out, it'd be fantastic, because they are a good club with good people.
Yeah, and a good win for Stevenage, not least also for Southend. Kind of, it never rains, but it pours, literally, on Millwall today, with Daft sending off, and it all went wrong.
Well, I'm delighted for Phil Brown. He spent quite a long time out of the game and nobody actually took him on. And Southend, he's made that trek down, perhaps wondering whether it was going to be the right move for him, up near the top of Division 2. Fourth round now of the FA Cup. Fantastic performance there today. And obviously Millwall have got to get someone sorted out pretty quick, because it looks like they're in big trouble.
Yeah. OK, after the break, we're off to North London as Arsene Wenger's league leaders hosted Tim Sherwood's attack-minded Spurs. This one could get bumpy.
Atmosphere built around the FA Cup was just amazing.
The reason it's so special is because anything can happen.
William Hill, proud supporters of the FA Cup on ITV.
I changed this event, and after 72, every gold medalist has used my technique. It changed the entire world.
I wanted to design a super yacht that was really, really fuel efficient. It uses 1/7 of the fuel. If this boat could change attitudes, that'd be great.
Break the rules, change the game. The all-new Mazda 3 with Skyactiv technology. Defy convention. Search all-new Mazda 3.
Oh, that's terrible. What's the first thing you'd do if someone told you they'd been burgled? You'd help. Don't worry, we'll get this sorted out. At More Than, we won't interrogate you or pass you around the building. We'll just do all we can to help, like any decent person would.
Thank you.
No problem. Glad I could help. More Than, where you mean more.
Deepest winter, and the Inuits must survive on whale blubber, harvested in warmer months. But there's no such hardship for the Johnsons of Claremont Road, who've ordered Domino's Winter Survival Deal. A large pizza, potato wedges, garlic pizza bread, and twisted dough balls, all for just $14.99. That, ladies and gentlemen, is an Arctic-sized chunk of
greatness from Domino's.
Four legends.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Like you've never seen them before.
I probably should get up and dance. Maybe not. Maybe now.
In cinemas now.
On a clear day, you can see France.
France? I'd rather see a broadband signal like downstairs. Any chance of that? Is that a state agent for no?
Yes.
Yes?
I mean, no.
No?
It simply can't reach up here.
SkyScan.
What's that?
Sky Broadband. They give you a free Wi-Fi booster. It makes your signal reach up to 100% further.
Job done then. Where do I sign?
Full name?
My name is... Let me do that.
Demand more. Take your broadband further with a free Sky Wireless booster. Sky. Believe in better.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna beat you this time.
there's over £5 million in jackpots. Plus, get £20 risk-free. Download the app or go to williamhill.com/Vegas.
Marvel's Mightiest Heroes. Exclusive hardback graphic novels. Build your collection of Marvel's Mightiest Heroes. Issue 1, The Avengers, out now.
Good morning. I do believe we're neighbours. I think I'm going to vomit.
Break his ankles, like in that film, Misery.
He's a mean, keep him keen.
Dad's been held at Alicante Airport for suspected drug smuggling.
Brand new Benidorm continues Thursday at 9 on ITV.
Last time we won it was 1976, so I wasn't even born then.
I was 2 when we last won it in 57, so I don't remember that.
William Hill, proud supporters of the FA Cup on ITV.
Welcome back. Now, so far, Tim Sherwood has looked like a Dr. Water in the management game. He'll certainly have earned his spurs if he could beat Arsenal at the Emirates this evening. Commentary there from Andy Townsend and Clive Tildesley.
Dembele squeezed through to Eriksen. He's broken the challenge of Koscielny, and this is Christian Eriksen. And it's gone behind.
Chance, he was sharp there, wasn't he, Christian Eriksen? As soon as that broke for him, he was onto it very quickly. Sanya's the wrong side. He knows he dare not touch him. He's just gone for the near post, and the goalkeeper does well in the end.
It's clever from Rosicky. Gnabry bursting onto the ball, trying to feed Walcott instantly. His control is instant, and his shot is instant, and it needed a reaction. Hugo Lloris, who was going the wrong way there momentarily.
Gives himself an awful lot to do, I've got to say, Walcott there, but he hits the target, and Lloris has to make sure he gets a good hand on it.
Corner towards Vermaelen, won by Dawson. Rosicky. This is Gnabry. Oh, it's well stopped. Just over Hugo Lloris's crossbar, but hit with venom and swerve by Serge Gnabry. This is Sanya. Gnabry. It's opened up a little bit for Serge Gnabry, and he's played in Santi Cazorla! Thunderous finish by Santi Cazorla!
The two centre-halves dropping away, but once that ball goes into Gnabry, Chiriches and Dawson have just dropped off, and that allowed Gnabry to find Santi Cazorla on the far side. Left foot, right foot, you can trust either one with this guy. He's prepared to hit him first time. That is hit so beautifully, so accurately. Great goal.
Into Eriksen, and now Lennon. Crossed into Adebayor. And that was a chance.
Was a chance.
Lost his footing.
Yeah.
They're baying at him now, but there'll be some sighs of relief in the Arsenal contingent too. He's onside here. Emmanuel Adebayor. Roll it into Eriksen, top of the corner.
Arsenal are far more accomplished with their football. They need to get a bit more daylight than this.
Eriksen's corner. All the way by Mertesacker. Soldado. Rose has taken the chance, and Rosicky has dispossessed him. Thomas Rosicky for Arsenal. 2-0. One end of the other, in the blink of an eye. A problem of Tottenham Hotspur's own making. Danny Rose caught in possession, and Thomas Rosicky doubles Arsenal's lead.
He fancied that Danny Rose just might take that liberty, might take that chance in possession of the ball. That's why he went after him, Clive. He just thought, yeah, he might just try and wriggle out of this and I can pinch it. And once he does, he's quick enough to keep good distance between himself and everybody else, and even under pressure from Walker and from an advancing Lloris, he's got the coolness, he's got the confidence, the ability to scoop it over the goalie and put his team 2 in front.
Good control from Rose. Well, the Spurs corner. Another moment for Walcott to go down. It's right in front of the Spurs fans. I don't think he'll have gone down there by choice.
Let's hope that's more precautionary, Clive, I really do, because he's enjoyed himself today, Theo Walcott.
That's right in front of the Tottenham fans, actually. I mean, smile on his face, but I'm not sure that is actually the brightest thing to be doing.
Now, what's happened to Theo Walcott? Is he okay?
The first signs are not too bad for Theo. He got kicked on his knee. Is it stretched ligament or not? We have to check that in 1 or 2 days.
What do you make of that gesture?
I don't think that's offending. You know, the doctor told me they got a lot of coins over there.
He was reacting to that, was he?
He was responding to that, you know. They said they needed to protect him from the number of coins he got.
Isn't that gesture the sort of thing that could provoke more trouble?
Yes, of course, but let's not go overboard as well.
Well, let's sort that one out first. It's a slight chicken and egg situation, that, I suppose, isn't it? We don't know exactly who incited who first. No. What do you make of it?
Well, I wondered who's injured the most, the stretcher bearers or Theo.
Yeah, they took
he's been carried off on a stretcher and he's making gestures to the supporters. I don't think that's a really good idea, and I'm sure looking at it now he'll be regretting that. And the stretcher bearers...
I mean, there's no excuse for chucking missiles, let's be clear. There's no excuse for that.
That's wrong. But as I say, the front two guys, the stretcher bearers, wonder why they're throwing things at us.
Yeah,
we're quite nice lads, but somehow we're getting pelted here.
Yeah.
But it's not in the corner, you know, and I'd expect a wee bit better. Because we are sensitive these days, you know, fans and players and things like that. I think if Theo thought about it again, it's not a good idea. He's 2-0 up anyway. We know the score. You know, the fans they're not very clever, but they're clever enough to understand it's 2-0.
We're losing. So have a bit of that. As far as the match went, tactically, player for player, Arsenal just better?
Better side today. Spurs started each half quite well because they played two up front, and the two up front, one of them would drop back and get a wee bit of help in the middle of the park. But the longer the game on, the two strikers reverted to what they were and stayed up the park and left some more room in the middle of the park. Because early in the game, one would drop back, they'd narrow midfield and kind of match them up in the middle of the park. The longer the game went on, the two strikers stayed full up the park, which allowed Arsenal to go and pass the ball a bit. But they were hungry, Arsenal. You know, people have always said that they're a wee bit lightweight. I didn't think so. You know, today they stood up against them and put some tackles in. But this is surprising, that first goal. When Gnabry turns around, he must be thinking, I'm going to get tackled here. But Kirikes actually went way back about 10 yards, and that's a terrific finish from the wee fella. You know, he's just decided, I'm just going to hit this straight down the line.
Poor old Danny Rose Martin. Have nightmares about that.
Yeah, Rosicky, you've got to say he has done well, but Danny will be disappointed with his decision to try and Cruyff him on the halfway line.
Yeah.
Tim's spoken about playing an open, free style of football. I don't even think Tim would be too happy with that either. But you've got to say it's a fantastic finish after a 40-yard run. And Tottenham did have two good chances. Once when it was 0-0, Eriksson was through with just the goalkeeper to beat. And then at 1-0, Adebayor from 8 yards. And he's had a John Terry-type slip, which would have been 1-1. So two good chances at key moments in the game.
Yeah, and it naturally is a learning curve. For all that he's been at the club a long time, he's new to being in charge of a team on a big day. He's just won at Old Trafford, so... You can't win them all, as you two well know.
Yeah. It's been in management 3 weeks, and one's at Old Trafford. Many of us have went there many a time. My career, no one there. So it's not as easy as that every week, that's for sure. And you have to sometimes think who you're playing against. And but it's a learning curve for Tim. And he'll go and look at it and say, where could we have done better today? You know, and that'll be good for him. So sometimes you can learn more in defeat than you can in victory.
There were 3 non-league teams still in the Cup and all had home advantage in round 3. Macclesfield knocked out Cardiff at this stage last year. Could they upset Championship side Sheffield Wednesday? Today, Joe Spate was at the Moss Rose.
Key to win with the corner. O'Connor's header and turned off the line. Back in by McCreath. Turnbull's forward. Chance again here. Well, they're appealing for a penalty, but a goal kick's being given. While the conference team came mighty close here, Connor with the effort. Turned right off the goal line. Well, Stuart Gray is the Sheffield Wednesday caretaker boss. He's noticed a real improvement in recent weeks. They've won 3 and lost just 2 of his 7 games in charge. The error up in the back, so too is Louvens. Dinked in by McPhail. Johnson! It's a superb header. And Sheffield Wednesday's captain, Reader Johnson, scores the opener midway through the first half. Maguire. Here's Lee. Maguire again. It's a good pass for Kieran Lee. Teasing ball. Superb save by Taylor. It seems set there for 2-0. And Rhys Taylor, the Welsh goalkeeper, with a top save. Williams. Lewis. Paul Turnbull. Looking for Williams. A lovely ball! 1-1! The non-league team are level. It's Steve Williams. And the North Road comes alive.
What does it mean now to go to Hillsborough for a replay?
Oh, everything to the club, for the fans, and because the finances aren't the best at the minute, so it'll do us well in that respect, and it'll do us good for our confidence, getting a draw against a good club, really.
You have to match the application, and then one or two of my boys just thought maybe going to be a bit easy. Crowd got up for it, suddenly the 50-50 decisions were going their way.
The position of the football club, I had to be happy with the draw. I think if the circumstances had been different, we would have tried to gone on and throw more men forward, but we knew how important it was if we could get a draw, that any extra revenues welcome, so that had a bearing.
And it's Huddersfield on the offensive, right from the off, the header by Martin Patterson. It's opening up for Paul Dixon with his weaker foot. Hit it well though, Dixon. Fine stop by McKeown, and it needed to be. Colbeck. Acres of space. Still Colbeck. Managed to beat Wallace, and it's a goal for Grimsby. Ross Hanna right on the doorstep. The non-league side have the lead in the third round of the FA Cup. Contrasting emotions. You look at the two benches. Smith. Here's Clayton for Huddersfield. The free kick is going to be awarded to the visitors. Stroud had a look at it. Elected not to play advantage. Tense moment in this third round tie. It's Oliver Norwood for Huddersfield. It's a beauty! Right out of the top drawer. Just what was required as far as Huddersfield Town are concerned. Colbeck. Tried to fire it back across. It's actually stayed in play, would you believe? Now they might be onto something here, Grimsby. They still might. They've got it, scored again. Remarkable. Craig Disley, the captain. An eruption of joy in the pontoon stand. Grimsby have the lead for a second time. Grimsby inching ever closer to a place in the fourth round. McLaughlin. Clayton couldn't quite judge it. Oh, it's miraculous save by Smithies. And my goodness, it had to be. Scannell. Here's Holmes. Oh, it's straight at the goalkeeper. But there's the equaliser, Martin Patterson. That is what Patterson can do. Scannell. Did beautifully. Dixon. And it's another one. Maybe the clinching goal. An own goal by Aswad Thomas, making it Grimsby 2, Huddersfield 3.
Grimsby put us under a hell of a lot of pressure and got goals at the right times. I thought it was a great cup tie. I thought it was a typical old-fashioned cup tie. And coming to a ground like this, with the weather that we've had, it's always a leveller.
It says a lot when the team's actually sat in there disappointed. You know, we made Huddersfield really work, and that's what I asked for before the game, that, you know, make them earn the win. We certainly did that.
The FA Cup's different. It's special. You know, there's more cameras here than I've seen at any of our games in the Championship of late, and the reason's purely because there's a Championship side coming to a conference side, and they're you know, hoping for an upset. And you know, sorry that we've disappointed people today, but it's great for our club that we're in the hat for the next round.
This tie had real upset potential and quickly showed why. Barely a minute played when Kidderminster's highly rated striker Joe Lolly forced Sean Brisley to test the woodwork. Not for the last time. After 3 straight defeats in League One, Peterborough almost snatched it when Lee Tomlin's free kick sparked a remarkable scramble. But the conference side hung on. And 20 years after they reached round 5, the Harriers are in the hat for round 4.
Well, absolute credit to all 3 of the Squill Premier sides today. Not least Grimsby, who played their part in a tough defeat in the end, but actually in the context of what we heard earlier from Paul Lambert. Fantastic honesty from John Askey at Macclesfield to say, actually, at 1-1 we thought, no, well, let's just have the draw and the cash for the replay, thanks.
I've got to say, I'm 56 now and I've never heard that before. But it was great.
Yeah.
You can understand if your club's, you know, going at the wall and you need it, and the decision to be made, you go throw bodies forward, you go for a draw. It was brilliant. He was honest enough to say, listen, we need the cash. Sorry about that. And I think every Macclesfield fan will understand that.
Oh, they will. They will. And actually, it says a lot that the non-league club felt comfortable playing for the draw. Yeah, we'll just hold them off for the last 20 minutes.
Well, it's magnificent. That is the magic of the FA Cup. Taking off your centre forwards and coming back to the half-line and don't push forward. Let's go to Hillsborough. I think it'll be a tough game for Sheffield Wednesday.
Well, it will if they keep doing this kind of stuff.
This is a great finish. I mean, if it's a good ball, the ball kind of sways a bit and the centre half loses it, Louvens. But this is a great outside of the foot, caresses into the corner. That's wonderful. Wonderful goal.
Steve Williams with the equaliser. And well played to them and Kidderminster, who are in the 4th round draw. We're on the South Coast next for a barnstorming cup tie. Another one. It's between Southampton and Burnley. Goals galore. And we'll see how the new Cardiff boss, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first day on the job turned out.
Should have won it. We were 1 up. Like, you know, we should just have stuck maybe 10 players on the line, just sort of held them off for 90 minutes.
William Hill, proud supporters of the FA Cup on ITV.
How can a car's design make driving feel like this? Start by making it lighter. Reduce the size of the wheel. Raise the instruments to help keep your eyes on the road. And declutter to make the surface of the road feel as close as possible to the hair on your skin. Voila. New Peugeot 308. Driving sensations.
Enjoy hundreds of slot games at 32red.com, including popular titles like The Dark Knight Rises and Immortal Romance. And brand new games to play every month, like our exclusive I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here slot. Online, on tablet, or on your mobile. Join tonight and get £32 free when you deposit just £10 at 32red.com.
This is an invitation.
Xbox on.
To a new generation, where your games and entertainment
Xbox got to Star Trek Into Darkness
are together in one. The all-in-one Xbox One.
What was it Lizzie said that made you realise?
Brand new Midsummer Murders, Wednesday at 8 on ITV.
So watching my rival team getting beat by the underdogs, I mean, that's double whammy.
William Hill, proud supporters of the FA Cup on ITV.
Now, the meeting between Southampton and Burnley promised much. Informed strikers Jay Rodriguez and Danny Ings were both up against their former teams, and this game did not disappoint. Commentary from Lawrence Herdman.
Here's Stephen Davis. Nathaniel Klein's in space in the back and might go for goal. Oh, spectacular! A thump Jumping right foot shot from the Southampton fullback, and Tom Heaton helpless. Not a bad celebration, and didn't it sit up nicely? Morgan Schneiderlin. Ramirez. Oh, it's neat from Southampton. Lambert. Oh, that's emphatic! Southampton have doubled their lead, and as clean a strike as you could wish to see from the England centre forward. Ricky Lambert for Southampton. Trippier. Room for Marnie to cross here. Vokes! 2-1! Lifeline for Burnley. A fine header from Sam Vokes, whose family are Southampton fanatics. It's actually Burnley's centenary season of winning the FA Cup. It's one for Danny Ings to chase. He's away from Højveldt, and he'll squeeze it in! Danny Ings! What a comeback by the Championship title chasers! And it's Burnley's Hampshire pair. First Vokes, and now top scorer Danny Ings. Vokes underneath it once more, and Ings, and the pair combine once more. Oh, that's clever. Vokes! Oh, what a save from Kelvin Davis! And somehow Southampton scramble it clear. But what a defining moment that might be. Vokes was in on goal, and what a stop. Southampton probing once more with Jack Cork. Rodriguez. And Ward-Prowse has stayed on his feet. Oh, it's spilled by Heaton. And Jay Rodriguez has turned it in. Burnley born and bred, no celebration. But time almost stood still for the Burnley defence. And Southampton are back in front. Oh, it's missed by two Southampton defenders. And Ings is in once more. And it's back off the post. How close Burnley were to an equaliser. By Rodriguez, here's Lallana, and still, oh, that's brilliant! A superb run and shot, and Adam Lallana, letting his feet do the talking, surely seals it for Southampton. Well, Burnley just refused to lie down and still try to find a way back. Here's Ings, who's run himself ragged, and will go for goal once more. Kept out by the fingertips of Kelvin Davis, and Burnley's top scorer so close once again. Stanislas with a corner, and somehow it's gone into the back of the net, and Kevin Long will claim it. And is there time for Burnley yet? It's an FA Cup classic at St Mary's.
We started nice and brightly. They got a great goal. I mean, 3 out there 4 England players who scored were England players. The other one was £2.5 million. So, you know, they've got some quality there.
Every player in there wants to go as far as they can in the FA Cup. So it's a big cup for us, and we want to get a good cup run going. So it's very important to reach each round.
This was a cracker. I know highlights sometimes make games look more exciting. It was. It had everything. It was end-to-end. Goals galore. Could have been 8 aside.
We watched about 7 different screens, but you kept going back to this game. There's another goal. There's another goal. Look at that save. That's fantastic.
Tremendous.
So it was a great game.
And in amongst all of it, there was literally about a minute and a half that probably swung the game. Burnley could have scored to go 3-2 up, didn't. Southampton did.
Yeah, great skill from Sam Vokes. It looks like he's coming back to form after a great start at Bournemouth. Brilliant save from Calvin Davis, but like you say, they could have gone 3-2 down there, Southampton.
Yeah.
And then up the other end for what we thought was a very controversial goal. We wasn't sure what everyone's appealing about or why everybody stopped.
No, don't know whether Southampton think they've perhaps got a penalty. Burnley want the free kick for the goalkeeper being impeded. No one's quite sure what's happened.
Even the celebration there, and the Burnley players are really not sure. They're asking themselves, they're asking the referee, was that a goal?
Yeah.
You know, and the crowd went quiet as well.
Adam Lallana talking to the referee, that's controversial in itself.
I wonder what he said. Do you know who I am?
Sadly, we didn't pick
the
that
referee
up.
just ran away.
Naughty. But great game. Again, you know, we keep saying it tonight, but it's true.
Listen, it's been
Cup
good.
ties that just entertain.
We started off a negative.
Yeah.
And that's football, and it's media these days. We start off a negative. That's the way it is. But have you had a look at it? It's been a tremendous day of football. Great goals.
Yeah. And Southampton, who had this tremendous start to the season, hit a bit of a lull, which was perhaps inevitable, but showing a bit of form again, both in League.
Yeah, he's going to come back with the young players that they've got there and they've brought through their academy, all virtually playing week in, week out. They're fantastic young players for the future, but this is really their first full season playing week in, week out. So there's going to be some ups, there's going to be some downs, and there's going to be some dips, but they're coming back now strong. And
it's a good team to watch.
Good players for the future as well.
Good team to watch. They play a fantastic system. They play close together, and their only real width is their full-backs. But they pass the ball, and you see the intricate passing there, and they score a lot of goals going through in the middle. So they've got a good variation of play. Very good.
Burnley aren't bad either. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is either brave or balmy. The former Manchester United striker has jumped into the Vincent Tan frying pan just in time for a cup trip to Newcastle. Richard Henwood saw his first day in the dugout.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer returned to English football with a big job on his hands and a familiar smile on his face. But his first challenge after taking over from Malky Mackay looked like a daunting one, to end Cardiff's 50-year wait for a win at St James's Park. There were few signs early on that he'd succeed. Hatem Ben Arfa came close in the first half for Newcastle. And when the Cardiff defence failed to deal with Johan Gouffran's through ball early in the second half, Papiss Cissé gave the home side the lead. But Solskjaer then began to prove he learned some valuable lessons from his time playing for Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson. He sent on Craig Noone, and within a minute, the switch paid dividends as the substitute came up with a spectacular equaliser. Solskjaer was famously introduced as a goal-scoring sub by Sir Alex in the Champions League final back in 1999. And while the stakes weren't quite as high and the circumstances not quite as dramatic, this match was to have the same scoreline. Another Cardiff substitute, Fraser Campbell, heading the winner, and the 2008 finalists are through to round 4.
It's a fresh start for everyone. Everyone's got a chance, and we just want to go out there and show everyone, show the fans, travel all the way up here to come and watch the heroes again, and they did the business.
These sides met in the league on Boxing Day, but for two strikers who didn't start that game, the cup version brought differing emotions. Frustration for Darren Bent, initially denied by Mark Bunn. And likewise for Ricky van Wolfswinkel, Norwich's record signing on his first start since October, but unable to beat David Stockdale. But then Bent's day picked up, the striker heading his first goal for 3 months, and for the fourth cup tie running late in the first half. To give the Norwich bench a familiar feeling in this fixture. It's almost 28 years since they last beat Fulham. But before the break, they were handed another chance to end that run. Josh Murphy on his full debut, setting up Robert Snodgrass for the equaliser. If that was a low point for Stockdale, he more than made amends to keep out Van Wolfswinkel's header late on. A moment to savour, to set up a replay that neither team will be keen on.
Under Tony Pulis, Crystal Palace have become a very different side to the one which lost 2-0 in a Premier League match at the Hawthorns in early November. A Barry Bannon shot against the post was an early warning for West Brom, who then contributed to their own downfall. Goran Popov's wayward pass punished by Dwight Gale's excellent finish. Albion were unbeaten in their previous 4 games under caretaker head coach Keith Downing, but they could find no way back into this one. Craig Dawson's header clipped the crossbar, while Palace keeper Julian Speroni coped with anything on target. And Palace's 4th win in 9 games since Pulis took over was confirmed 5 minutes into stoppage time, when Yannick Bolassi's excellent run and pass gave Marouane Chamakh a simple finish. Palace through to round 4 for the first time in 4 years.
Well, of course, Tony Pulis, who we worked with a few weeks ago, he was a bit coy then about his prospects at Palace, but he's been to a cup final, so he knows the value of a cup run in his days at Stoke, and that's a great win for them today.
It's been terrific, and he's got them going again. He's put people. It's quite simple management. It's not cosmic. It's putting people in the right positions, making good decisions. It's not a cosmic thing, football, and Tony's proved that. You know, you're nearly guaranteed success when you sign him.
What about Ollie turning up at Cardiff with his new boss Vincent?
Yeah, it was a big move for him. I think it's a bit of a gamble, actually, to go in there with what's happened down there to Malky Mackay. And we've seen that Cardiff have got some very good players. They were 0-0 at Arsenal till the 88th minute with David Kerslake as caretaker manager. So they have got good players. and it's no surprise that he's able to go in now and get a good result there today at Newcastle. But
it's no surprise that he's good with the substitution, is it?
Well, people try and convince you that it's all about coaching. Coaching's part of it, but management's all about decision making. He puts 2 subs on at the right time, scored goals, and that's decision making. And the management is mostly about decision making. Who you bring into the club, when you play them, when you put them on, when you get rid of somebody. It's all about that.
And we hear a lot about managing up, which you've both probably had to do, and presumably he's elicited some kind of promises, guarantees, whether it's cash to spend or whatever, ways to work with the owners?
Well, I'm sure there's been some conversations about who's picking the team, who's recruiting the players, which is vital, as we chatted about earlier, and who's going to be substituted during the games. And no conversations taking place, so it's solely going to be down to Ollie and his staff, who he wants to bring in, and not down to the chairman.
What's for sure is, if he keeps winning, he can get to make all the decisions he likes.
It's all about winning. We're back to that again, yeah.
Coming next, we'll see how Manuel Pellegrini enjoyed his first taste of the FA Cup. He likes winning. As Manchester City travelled to Ewood Park to play Blackburn Rovers, who were up for the fight. That's next. Welcome back. 4 more games to see now in this FA Cup with Budweiser, all pitting Premier League sides against Championship opposition. We start with Venky's Blackburn versus Sheikh Mansour's Manchester City. Commentary from Michael Owen and Darren Fletcher.
Lescott's gone into the penalty area. Javi Garcia, Dzeko, all easy to find. Free header and a goal. Negredo with a finish, following Dzeko's header.
Well, it was a pretty simple set-piece routine in the end. Out-swinging corner, and Negredo, like all good goal scorers, he just knows where that ball is going to drop.
Corner in towards Gesteg, clean header, got him in the equaliser, it is! Blackburn Rovers level, and it's Scott down the captain.
And it's the first time Pantilemon's been tested lower down, and he failed that test. 2 corners, 2 goals, Blackburn back in it.
Here's Boyata, closing Manchester City down really well here in the second half. Blackburn Rovers. Clipped forward by Silva. Here's Dzeko, away by Robinson. Negredo on the follow-up with the goal at his mercy.
Great efforts, poor goalkeeping by Robinson. I think he can catch that, and if he's not going to catch it, palm it to safety. He palms it to Negredo. It's a bad miss, really, for a man of his calibre.
Boyata. Here comes Jason Lowe, now DJ Campbell. It's late by Boyata, who's been booked already, remember.
He's a goner, Darren, he's a goner. You simply can't do that. I don't think Michael Oliver's got much option but to show him a second yellow card.
A final late twist in the plot at Ewood Park. Manchester City down to 10 men. Here's Dan. Now Campbell. Campbell pulls it back towards Kearney. Kearney shot! Didn't quite find the corner.
It's a great little ball down the side by Scott Dan. Knocks it to DJ Campbell, who in turn just cuts it inside. And as you see, the ball just not got enough bend on it.
This tie will be most fondly remembered by Everton's forgotten man, a title that definitely doesn't apply to the opening scorer. Another eye-catching display and a first FA Cup goal for Ross Barkley. But the major credit for turning a potential upset into a routine win belongs to Nikita Jelavic on his first starts in September. After Carl Henry's mistake, the Croatian had his first goal since March. And Everton boss Roberto Martinez may review his apparent willingness to let Jelavic move on this month, with QPR reportedly at the head of the queue. Brian Oviedo's cross made a gift of his second goal. And when the Costa Rican was bundled over by a combination of Neda Manua and Julio Cesar, Jelavic was set for a hat-trick. Only for his confidence to prove misplaced this time. By now, Everton were too rampant to dwell on that setback. And barely a minute later, Barkley's surging run was more than matched by Seamus Coleman's finish, the left-back's 4th goal in 6 games. QPR didn't manage one shot on target. And although Clint Hill denied him late on, Jelovic's arrival would surely help their promotion bid. The fact that he's now cup-tied won't be a problem for Rangers this season. The third round provided another striker with a chance to impress at the Britannia, and he grabbed it gratefully. Kenwyne Jones with his first goal since late October, on his first appearance since late November. But Stoke were still grateful for something special to ease their passage into round 4, and 10 minutes into the second half, Charlie Adam provided just that. And the threat of championship leaders on a 4-match winning streak had been quelled. Although Leicester substitute David Nugent did set up a frenetic last 15 minutes. The last 4 cup ties between these clubs had required a replay. Mark Hughes will be especially relieved that this one didn't.
The familiar theme continued at the Riverside, where fringe players once again made the most of a rare opportunity, this time for Hull. Steve Bruce made 9 changes to his starting lineup against Middlesbrough, and just 24 hours after returning from a loan spell at Birmingham, Aaron McLean scored his first goal of the season, and the first for Hull in well over a year. And another player who's been given limited opportunities ensured that Borough manager Aitor Karanka's first taste of FA Cup football would end in defeat. Nick Proschwitz drilling George Boyd's cutback into the top corner to complete a 2-0 win for the Premier League side.
So generally good results and good performances from the Premier League sides. Credit, I suppose, you've got to give to Blackburn Rovers to hold Manchester City at home, because although they made changes, Pellegrini, it was, as it would be, it's a pretty strong City side.
Yeah, very strong. I'm sure Pellegrini, whatever his name is, won't be very happy with that save he's made there and just dropped it straight at the feet of the Blackburn striker. Joe Hart was probably sitting in the technical area thinking, nice one.
Yeah, conspiracy theorist, aren't you?
Mind.
Yeah. Well, I think they were hoping for a little warm weather break somewhere around the middle of the week after next, which they now can't have because they've got a replay at the Etihad against Blackburn. But they were pretty good value today, Rovers, on what I saw.
You know, we spoke about individual players, but I think the manager got it right today. He made sure they were still in the game.
Yeah.
With 20 minutes to go. Then he brought his strikers and his main strikers, DJ Campbell and Jordan, come on, and they nearly got the win. So that would have been, again, good decision by the manager, making sure they don't get too many goals ahead. We're still in there with 20 minutes to go, and they nearly nicked it, and there was a good performance.
Here is the equaliser. Lescott loses his man, and then, as you say, Martin, goalkeeper just can't hold on to it.
Yeah, it's poor defending from Lescott. He'll be disappointed to give him a free header. I think the goalkeeper should do better. But it seems as though Gary Bowyer's steadied the ship there at Blackburn Rovers. It's a lot less off the field now, concentrating on the field, and you know, hopefully now they'll start picking up again.
And a word on Everton. Impressive season continues at pace. They dispatched QPR today.
Listen, they're playing some terrific football, and I've got a terrific group of players. And Jelovic, who is a good player, so it shows you how good they are if he's not getting a game. He's a good player. Coleman, fantastic. Come on, they're all playing well. They're all being managed well by Roberto. But individuals in the team are making them better as well. Barkley, I think, you know, in the modern day, we defend so well, and in the middle of the park, we get people narrow to defend against passing. You need people to go by people, and he can do that. And from the middle of the park, Wiltshire's like that. So I would say for the England team, they're musts, because they can go and break down a defence by going past people.
Got pace, haven't they?
He's got Barkley's got strength as well. He's got that. Wilshire's got that long gap where he goes past. You need that to break teams down. And you've got great players with Lampard and Gerrard, but they can't go past players. These two younger men can do that.
Bit of promise for the summer then. Much has happened to Wigan Athletic since they lifted the trophy in May. Relegation from the Premier League, of course, a Europa Cup run, a change of manager. The recently installed Uwe Rosler took on his old mate, Carl Robinson, at the MK Dons at the DW. Commentary from David Stahl.
There are 24 places between these two sides in the league pyramid. Wigan looking to make their superiority count, but Reeves gets the clearance in. As far as Espinosa, oh, how about that? The holders are into their stride in real style. It's taken less than 20 minutes, and Roger Espinosa's first FA Cup goal is one to savour. Been piling on the pressure here. And here's Gomez. Lots of room from here, and time to take his aim and fire Wigan into a 2-goal lead. Wigan are easing away from MK Dons. He just had so much time and space. MK Dons coming back into things. Waiting for that referee's whistle for half-time. There might be action before it, and there is. Ben Reeves makes it interesting right on half-time. Wigan were well and truly in charge of proceedings. Now their lead is a slender one. Martin's long clearance. Still we play on at the end of this first half, and it's Bamford wrestling for the ball. He's got some support here. Lewington is with him. Back to Bamford. Reeves free in the middle, and he's done it again! And in the blink of an eye, MK Dons are level. Wigan were running away with this. They're not now. Here's Carruthers. Renewed confidence in this second half from the visitors. And here's Baldock, and he's gone down, and the referee says penalty. James McLean with an awkward-looking challenge. MK Dons have the chance to lead for the first time, but they can't take it. Super save from Ali El Habsi. Very short run-up, though, from Sean Williams. And the keeper is the hero. Fortunate. Decent hold-up play from him. Here's Espinosa. Spots the run of McManaman. Here he is through on goal. A chance to regain the lead for Wigan. And he makes no mistake. Football can be so cruel. Just minutes after MK Dons are denied from the spot, Wigan race away to lead. Away by Espinosa. Bubbling around that penalty box. Someone needs to take charge of it. And Bamford has! It had to be him! In his final game on loan, he may well have kept the FA Cup dream alive for the MK Dons. Is there time for more drama right at the end here? Wigan have done enough to see it out, and there is the final whistle. That's the bad news. The good news is they'll do it all again. It's finished 3-3.
A quick handshake, and they'll have to do it all again in 10 days' time. Plenty more action still to come from us tonight, and some cracking goals to stay up for, I promise, like that little beauty. All to come.
The FA Cup's so special because it's the atmosphere, it's the electricness. It's part of our culture. I love it.
William Hill, proud supporters of the FA Cup on ITV.
Ask yourself a question.
What makes a legend? I tell you what makes a legend. A legend's got the gift of the gab.
Let's get out of these wet things.
Legends have got winning in their DNA.
I like them to me. Calm, cool, badass.
A legend's always on target.
Did you get him? No.
Never mind. You can have me instead.
2014 on ITV4, Year of the Legend.
There's two types of people in this job, Dougie. The ones who like to keep a little bit of distance and the ones who get involved.
5-star, everyone stay where you are! Now, do you understand what you're going to be doing in there?
Can you see the job through or not? Do you understand?
What happens if she gets herself hurt?
It's a hard world. You should take a look at the causes.
The Vice starts Monday at 11 on ITV3.
The FA Cup is just magical. You get your non-league teams facing your big Premier teams, and you don't get that anywhere else.
William Hill, proud supporters of the FA Cup on ITV.
So, as promised, let's round up the remaining games from today's third-round fixtures, starting at Championship side Yeovil up against Leyton Orient, who currently sit third in League One.
With the visitors flying high in League One, they must have fancied their chances of an upset at Hoosh Park. But those giant killers of old at Yeovil were having none of it and promptly took the lead through James Hayter. The glory days of non-league upsets are long gone, with the home side 23rd in the Championship and a month without a win. But Joel Grant's goal just after the break gave them valuable breathing space. Former Yeovil boss Russell Slade was to endure a miserable return to his old club, and the coach journey back to East London loomed ever larger and longer when Hayter collected his second and Yeovil's third. These teams started the day just 4 league places apart and ended it 4 goals apart as Yeovil wrapped up an emphatic win, courtesy of Kiefer Moore's first senior goal. These two sides hadn't met in the FA Cup in over 80 years, and they made us wait another 84 minutes for a goal to come along, but when it did, from Watford's Sean Murray, it was worth the wait. But League One Bristol City earned a replay against the side 32 places above them 60 seconds later, when J. Emmanuel Thomas scored his 4th goal of the competition and his 18th of an impressive season.
The Championship side briefly had the upper hand in this one, and when Preston's Paul Huntington used his hand, Ipswich had the chance to take the lead. Up stepped David McGoldrick, who missed a penalty just 3 days ago. He chose the opposite corner today, but with the same result. This time, though, he was quick enough to score from the rebound. That lead lasted just 3 minutes, though. Kevin Davis first made his name in the FA Cup with Chesterfield's run to the semi-final 17 years ago. This afternoon, his cool finish earned Preston a replay. Just a point separates these sides in the race for a Championship playoff place, but Brighton were clearly the better side for most of this afternoon. They'd already hit the woodwork 3 times when Andrew Crofts let fly. It took a hefty deflection off Reading's Alex Pearce, but it was enough to win the tie. Two Lancashire rivals with stuttering Championship campaigns, but a couple of cracking goals coming up. Bolton's David Ngog had been out of form and out of favour in 2013. That could be changing, his 2nd goal in 3 days. The pressure on Blackpool manager Paul Ince lifted briefly when Tom Barkhuizen pulled off this spectacular finish, only the youngster's 2nd goal for the club. But Bolton had a secret weapon, FA Cup specialist Jermaine Beckford. He's played 20 times in the competition, and when he got on the end of Ngog's cross, he scored his 17th FA Cup goal.
Does score a few, Jermaine Beckford in the FA Cup. Good win for Bolton and for Brighton, among others. We've developed a bit of a third-round tradition, goals of the day. We've asked you to pick a top 3, you two, and they are crackers. We've had to leave a few out to make a short list.
This is a great... it's a good pass. But that's a great technique outside of the foot. Fantastic.
For a non-league club who are quite happy with the replay.
Got to make them a few bob, which is great.
Indeed. Indeed. This, perhaps the most important of the day, Martin. Sheffield United winner for Ryan Flynn.
Yeah, Ryan Flynn cutting across the 18-yard box in with his left foot, smashed it in. And like you say, winning the Division 1 club, winning at Premier League.
And how about that?
And this is World Winner, Scotland's new saviour. Absolutely fantastic. Well done, young man. That was... It's just a fantastic... It belongs... You know, it's great to have this, but it belongs like the Tottenham-Arsenal game. You expect somebody to come away. It's a great finish.
Now, as far as Sunday's games go, do you worry about West Ham at Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, Sam's got a lot of injury problems at the moment, and he's going to find it very difficult to put out a strong side. I was lucky enough to see Forest play at Reading the other day, and they played extremely well. Got a lot of pace, a lot of energy, and it's going to be a very difficult game for West Ham for sure.
And, of course, Oldham got Liverpool. Knocked Liverpool out last year.
Well, we were there, weren't we?
We were.
Yeah, it was good.
But this one's at Anfield.
And I've got to say, Liverpool come on leaps and bounds since then. I think they're one of the most attractive teams in Europe now. I think they're fantastic football, and there's only got to be one winner there. Sorry, Oldham. I think being great. But great football tonight.
Great football. Thank you very much, boys. Martin and Gordon, as always, a pleasure. Then, as mentioned, our FA Cup weekend continues with live coverage of Forest against West Ham. That from 11:30 a.m. here on ITV. Do join us for that. It's followed by the draw for the 4th round. We'll round up all of Sunday's action, including Derby against Chelsea and Manchester United against Swansea in the highlights at 10:40. And don't miss Keane Vieira, Best of Enemies. That's on again Tuesday, 10:35 on ITV. So the Cup matters. Of course it matters. Just ask Paul Lambert. night from us.
FA Cup in one